story is that 50 came in and like wrote the documentary. Like, well, we know that's not true because I have more classic albums than him. And then, but what he did,
He can't help himself.
bro, it's not petty. How can it be petty if it's a fact?
Right,
But you don't have
It's
to
a
throw it
fact.
out there though.
Like 50 had Get Rich or Die Trying. We all know that the album, like the magnitude of the album was dope at that time in hip hop, and he was a force. And then he had I think the second one was like The Massacre or something like that. Yeah. And that was a pretty decent album. But really on some real hip hop shit, 50 had one classic album, like one. Get Rich or Die Trying is fucking amazing. Me, I've had several.
Man, the game once again, name dropping in an interview. This time he talking about 50 Cent. He said he got more classics than 50 Cent. Cause I know the game, the documentary album, that's a classic. That's the one that 50 Cent actually helped on. And then after that, you know, it was the album with One Blood and all that stuff on the Doctor's Advocate. So like, I wouldn't say that it's a classic, but the thing about classic is an album that stand the test of time. An album that you go back to 5 years later, 10 years later, and 90% of the album is fire. Like, I got favorite albums for Game, but to say classic, I don't know. Like, one of my favorite albums is the Documentary 2 and the Documentary 2.5. That's like one of my favorite albums. And the album that Game dropped in 2016 called 1992. I like most of that album too, but classics, I wouldn't say, like, none of them classic except for his first album. Like, damn near head to toe, that album was fire. And 50 Cent, I say, of course, Get Rich or Die Trying is a classic. Everybody can agree on that. The Massacre, you can make a strong case that that's a classic. You got Get In My Car, God Gave Me Style, The Ski Mask Way, bruh. I think that album a classic. And after that, that's when they get a little sketchy. Like Before I Self-Destruct, it was but the Get Rich or Die Trying movie soundtrack, now I think that was a classic. That was a classic. Like, I think 50 Cent got at least 3 classics. But it's all subjective though. Like, somebody could think Game got all classics. Somebody could think 50 got all classics. It's all subjective. But to me, classic is an album that stands the test of time. You could play it any day. You could play it in a party, whatever, and it's gonna go up. Everybody gonna love it. Everybody gonna know the song word for word. You know what I'm saying? And I think the difference between 50 and Game was 50 Cent took off so quick. Like, once he dropped his debut album, he took off so quick. He ain't had to rap no more after his first album. He was good for life, but he kept on dropping music. In the Game, it was a slow grind for his music. Even though the Game still was putting up good numbers with his albums, it was nowhere near 50 Cent. So like, he had to work hard. He had to put in more work. He had something to prove. Like, 50 Cent started making movies and stuff, so you really can't compare. But what y'all think about this, man? It's your boy B. Make sure you like, subscribe.